Good day, everyone, or should I say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever suits you. This is a wonderful opportunity for us all to be together and to celebrate. And my guest for today's It's All Good show, and I am Dr. Dream, by the way. My guest is Brian Besco, and Brian is, beside being a dear friend from the moment I met him, I joke that he's one of the people I've met in life where as soon as I met him, my first thought was, how many past lives have we had together? Brian's become a dear friend over the years. We're just trying to figure out, we think it's about a decade that we've known each other. And not just his incredible tools, which we'll talk about, but his I get choked up. His presence in my life has inspired me, has at times grounded me, and throughout has really helped me become still getting over something from Mexico. Still has really helped me become a better person. And so, without any further ado or choking on my part and throat chakra stuff, Brian, welcome to the It's All Good show.
Dr. Dream, it is absolutely an honor and a pleasure to be here. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Glad to be here on this beautiful day. Guys, yeah, thanks again, Mark. Dr. Dream, it's been, I think the very first time that I met you, you actually invited me to participate in one of your events that we were at. You invited me in to do a Merkaba activation for your class. And oh man, that was just the most beautiful thing. And throughout the years, it has been really wonderful to know you. We actually created a Dr. Dream pendant for a little while there for you.
Absolutely.
That we named the Dr. Dream pendant. But yeah, it has been really beautiful to have you as an inspiration to TwistedSage and to myself personally. So thank you for being.
You have played pivotal roles at pinnacle moments for me. The first time we did our galactivation, 333 bowls for 2,500 people at Contact in the Desert, you were in the back of the audience working energy. The second time we did it, you were also there. And most recently this year, my 777th group energetic experience was at your location in the building you're in right now.
Yes.
In Buffalo Gap, South Dakota. And Stephanie and I have had the pleasure and distinct honor of visiting there several times. And that last one was off the charts for so many reasons. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. So before we just dive into fun stuff and energetics and everything like that, give us a little bit of your background and information about you as a foundation for us to move on.
Awesome. So, gosh, it all began about 14 years ago. My sister Brenda, who I refer to a lot, she's my energetic mentor. She brought in the symbol of Hetica, the water elemental, also known as the Triskele. So, as she was bringing in this as the symbol of the spirit of water, these gals, the New Science of Water, had just wrote their first edition of their book, and they called us up and said, "Well, all your channeled information on this Triskele, our science backs it on what it does for water, for restructuring water, balancing pH. You can place this on soil and it increased root growth in soil 15 feet out." And this was the first thing that allowed me to actually feel energy, was this Hetica. Um, so then 2 weeks later, these gals, they wrote me and said, well, we're scientists, but there's this gentleman who passed away in 2007, and this is in 2010. And they said, well, he sits on our front porch every day when we come home from work, and he has messages for you on how to make tensor rings. And I was very science minded. I just started getting into, kind of the alternative energetics of the world. And man, it has been a 14 years of just exponential growth in consciousness. It started out the tensor ring. So the tensor ring is actually created out of copper. Copper is a crystal structure. So when you align the wire, it creates a piezoelectric energy flow. We fold the wire in half, we twist it, we cut it to the thousandths of a centimeter, very specific sacred measurements that were used to build pyramids and other megalithic structures. These sacred measures, then, when we cut that to the length, we bring it together, it's creating a piezoelectric energy flow in both directions. But because of that sacred measurement, it's creating a tensor field. So this ring creates a column of harmonizing light that will restructure water. So the water rings that we make for Dancing with Water, you place your glass of water within here. In 4 to 6 hours, it restructures the water, balances the pH, and makes it lighter in weight in the lab because it puts such a high spin rate to the molecules within water. We also actually make cell phone tabs and things for your household electric, for laptops. This one here is the cell phone tab. This one is one that we have extensive biofeedback studies on, plus thousands of testimonials on our website. Basically, when you put this on your phone, you carry your phone, it aligns chakras, energy bodies, clears the mental and emotional field, and makes organs function better just by having your phone on you. Because we're not blocking EMF, because electromagnetic fields are a part of all physical reality. Our heart is this big electromagnetic generator. Truly, if you can stand grounded, connected, and aligned, you're untouchable in the world. But if you are slightly off, and even if that is a belief or, that dang cell phone tower is frying me, whatever, you get knocked off kilter, and then you're more susceptible to those outside energies. And so that is another thing that the TwistedSage tools do, is they help to keep you balanced, aligned in your heart and in your power and your light. And that, again, helps make you untouchable. So we make pendants that are like empath filters for people with severe sensitivities, electromagnetics. But again, consciousness is my true passion. And so that's really where we've evolved as TwistedSage Studios, as this family-run business for the past 14 years. We started with fighting the dark and clearing EMF and everything else. And then we got to a stage of the working with our internal, our past lives, our lifetimes of traumas, and we bring all of that back to soul as wisdom. And now then we're even stepping beyond that into some of these new fields that we call the creation fields, the highest potentials. And they are simply helping to bring us into a present moment so that we can step in as a conscious creator. And we begin to make choices on what serves us and what does not bring us joy. And when we can go into the heart and make those clear, conscious choices, which we're going to do today, I'm going to teach you how to make a clear, conscious choice with your soul to the universe so that it begins to shift reality as you know it. And this is a true and real thing.
Wow, I love that. Now, do we want to do that now, or do we want to talk a little bit more and then go into that?
We can do a heart space thing anytime, which maybe we can do that right now. We'll do the Trinity breath and we'll move into the heart, and then we can chat for a little bit, and then I'll take us through this at the end, because pretty much we'll leave everybody in that beautiful space, so that they can continue to do the work after we're done. That
Perfect.
works.
Let's do that.
Awesome. All right. So the sacred space of the heart, it's something that within the physical heart, there's actually brain cells within the heart. Heart Math is a great institution that studies the heart, the electromagnetic field of the heart coherence, all of these things, and how we affect the entire world based on a certain amount of people being in heart resonance. But that's the science side. But actually, so within the heart, there's actually the brain cells, and that is where we see the sacred seat of the heart. So whenever my sister and I traverse the multiverse, we'll see beings with that spark of their soul in the heart. So that's just kind of where we see the seat of the soul. So we also see our consciousness as a little ball of light about the size of a marble. And where our consciousness began within the heart, at some point we move up and our consciousness sits right behind the pineal gland. It sees out our physical eyes, it sees us separate from the world. And we are so influenced by the mind, the emotions, outside energies, so influenced when we're here. So we do this 3 breath technique called the Trinity breath, where we move our consciousness from the head back into the heart, the seat of the soul. And so when we do energy work, it is visualization, imagination, intention from the heart space. Um, my sister, if I get a rib out, I can text my sister and I can feel her push my rib back into place, and she hasn't even actually read the text yet. This is the type of work that we can all do. Truly, truly, we can all do. So we do this by beginning in the heart space because when we work from the heart space, we are very divinely supported. And when we work from the head, we're just spinning the hamster wheel. You really cannot make true change coming at it from the mental. You know, true change in the world is if you're working in the physical, you're just rearranging furniture. To make true change, it is in the level of light. The less light in consciousness, the denser the experiences. The more light in consciousness, the grander the experiences. And that really is a true metaphysics of creation. So being in the heart space brings us that larger amount of light and consciousness and connection. Simple breath. All right, here we go, you guys. 3 easy breaths. So closing your eyes, putting your attention to your physical heart where you find your light. Imagining connecting heart to heart with the earth and breathing in that energy of the earth up through the feet and into the heart. Just allowing yourself to be fully grounded and present in the body and with the earth. And next, connect with you as Creator God, as soul, breathing in that light of you into the heart. And it is just an allowing, an opening, and a softening to your light. Beautiful. Now, the 3rd breath is where you breathe in the energy of earth into the heart, mix it together with that light of you, sending it straight back up, breathing that light of you, mixing it with the heart, sending it straight back down. Simply, you are just grounded, connected, and a part of the Trinity, earth, sky, and you. And that moves you into that sacred space of the heart. In the heart space is where you go to step away from the chatter of the mind. The heart space is where you go, again, where you are divinely supported. So that's where you find your answers. And that's where you find your passion for wherever you're moving forward. The heart space. All right. So that sacred space, the heart, again, it's a place to go to make decisions. Um, Again, it is the place where you are supported in everything you do. Beautiful. So while we're in this space, let's do something here. This is an exercise that I teach that's called the soul altar. So if you imagine that whatever your experience in this world is, that if you experience something and you're like, hey, that doesn't serve me, that doesn't bring me joy, I'm ready to release that. it is built on choice. When we come in and we have these experiences, believe it or not, we have chosen for these experiences to come in for us, not to us, for us. So there's all of these things that we carry. We carry hereditary, mass consciousness. I mean, your body's not yours, you inherited it. Most of your mind is not really yours. There is so much else that goes on, whether it is mass consciousness, other lifetime soul aspects. So, any of these things that come up, we treat as energy, a reoccurring thought, a limiting belief, a pattern that occurs, or just this one simple experience. We take it as energy. Imagine taking whatever that is that you're ready to release as a ball of energy. Now, then, we imagine that we are standing before our soul, and there is a soul altar. For me, it's like this pillar, like 3 or 4 feet tall. And you take that energy of what it is that you're just complete with, and you set it on that soul altar and imagine stepping away. This is the big part of the ceremony for you, is you stepping away and saying, I am complete with this. I give this to soul. Soul takes this all and turns it to wisdom, completion. That wisdom, the soul hands back to you so you don't get stuck doing that again. You have brought it to wisdom. And many times, this is throughout many lifetimes. And whether you believe in the lifetimes or not, it is okay. You can think of it as traumas in this life. But as energy workers, healers, the past 4 or 5 years, the most, whenever we see clients with something physical, mental, emotional, or life situation, we're tying almost always back to traumas and not just this lifetime. So I know it's kind of on the woo-woo side, but I tell you, this little simple exercise is so flipping powerful. It can change your life. For me, I did this for 18 months and I was not aware that I had all of this chatter and these scenarios and all kinds of things going on here. I had no idea until I really started to dive in. And anytime anything would come up, I would stop, I would take the 3 breaths, I would grab onto that as a bundle of energy, and I would give it to soul. After I did this exercise, being very vigilant of what comes up in your mind or your experiences, I found that I was at peace for the first time I feel in any lifetime, at peace. And you know what else? I found that I am living in a safe universe because I have a true understanding that all energy is mine and that it has always been there to serve me. And so I tell you what, I am not the same person. Dr. Dream has been with me through many times that I have showed up, Guatemala 6 years ago, even that I've just been going through huge transformations within my own being. We were talking before, it's about releasing identity of who you think you are to be able to step into more of who you truly are. And that's my passion. The tools are great for doing energy work and clearing work and everything, but my passion anymore is creating the tools that help you step beyond, beyond everything as the human, the mind, the body, and all of that stuff, all of it. Um, So anyway, it is such an honor to be here in a new capacity because I've never been in this capacity before. So this is such divine timing, Dr. Dream, that we got together today because I couldn't have done this 2 weeks ago. It's just,
Ah,
you know, it- I'm really super, super excited about life and about everything on the planet and everybody and the way that things are moving and changing. I know it's chaos, but the more that you bring in the light, the less chaos there is. And again, that's for each individual. And when we bring in the light and we do the work for ourselves, that reflects into all of creation. So we don't come in and we try to fix and heal the world. We come in for ourselves first and foremost. And when you come in for yourself first and foremost, those ripples are what are changing the world. Um, quick little story. I
Mhm.
watched my sister the other day doing healing work. God, my sister, phenomenal being. I mean, she had a crushed finger. She would because she raised this high vibration beef cattle, and and so she was out in a sliding steel chute came in, and a steer jumped in there and totally demolished this bone in her finger. And she's and we don't fight or try to heal things anymore. We shift into some people call it other timelines, but we call it higher potentials. We actually create fields of higher potentials, which is just your light. But the point of this story is that she went home, went to bed, not trying to fight or heal this. She woke up the next morning and there's not a single fracture in this bone, and she didn't heal it. She allowed in a higher potential in creation to come in place. This is wild stuff. Wild stuff. Um, but yeah, so then also, with Brenda, oh gosh, sorry, Mark, Dr. Dream, I totally forgot where we were going there with that, but just trying to share stories of the profundity of the healing work that can take place because it's not what Brenda does. Okay, I remember the point of the story here. What Brenda does, I watched her about 2 months ago working with somebody. She comes in, she stands in the heart, and she embodies her light. I tell you what, when you're in the same room, when she truly brings in her light, it almost leaves you speechless. Um, but she embodied her light, and I sat right here and watched them here in the physical. The client embodied their light, and holy smokes, being in that space. But Brenda just stood there, and it is the client whose light came in and did all the healing work, and then it was done. I mean, it is profound. So the point of that story is that as you hold your light, everybody around you holds their light, and it is them that does the healing by embodying their light. This is the next paradigm of where we're going. And the tools that we create, holy crap, Dr. Dream, we had a huge shift in the tools on December 5th. Um, the tools are, I'm still blown away by this. The tools are bringing in the light of you in its purest form. When we were doing some work with this new tool that we call the undercurrent deactivator wand, I was looking and I got taken to that realm beyond our realm where we exist, where all the masters exist, where we exist before we come here. And it is just full of such beauty and support. I was taken there about 3 months ago and I just bawled for about 2 or 3 days because of just seeing that beauty and support that we have on in the other realms. And we were taken there and there was an opening that occurred between that realm and our realm. And it allows that pure light of you to come in. Now the human carries that pure light of you, but we also carry all these other rays of light. All this light is what patterns reality, and that light can be this old trauma that replays or, whatever, because we focus on those things that don't serve us or that don't bring us
Mhm.
joy. So all those different rays of light can be all these different things that are associated with the human and the human's light. But within there is truly that pure light of you. And now then any tool created here at Twisted Sage is going to be holding that space for the pure light of you to come in. Um, I embodied this here and gosh, that was December 5th. I was sick for 2 weeks. I'm finally feeling better. Because I whenever any of the new energies come through and we create it here in the etheric realm, we create all of our tools here, what we call the etheric templates, and then they are brought into the physical through the sacred measures. And my sister and I have been working on these etheric templates for years, like with the rings, the water rings for dancing with water. you can find the frequencies and properties of all the plant, crystal, mineral kingdoms within this ring. And then there's all the different modalities my sister and I have learned through the years that we put into these fields. And those all exist in the etheric templates. But then it is you, your higher consciousness, that decides what comes through this ring in your highest and best good at every given moment. So they're a smart ring with a lot of potentials. Um,
Now, let me ask. So, a tool like this that I got when I was there earlier this year, the new etheric template, is it then downloaded into the tools, the different tools that we already have and everything like
it
that?
is. It
So they're
is.
getting they're upgraded as you all are opening up those fields.
They are. Yep. So the that pure light of you, and even before that we had an expansive light. Gosh, we keep updating the tools quite often. Every few months there's a huge update. And then yes, that comes into the etheric templates, which are connected to every tool we've created. So yes, it totally carries that field in every tool that we've made in the past 14 years.
Now, let me ask, Brian, there's a lot of people stuck and still suffering on very deep levels. Um, and so those of us that have these tools and things, how can we? I understand, and I've been in a healing session with Brenda, and absolutely amazing. How can we help shift energies for other people, or is that part of the equation? Is that part of our responsibility? How does all that work from your perspective?
Oh, certainly, because you always have people that will come to you, and are seeking the help. And and that's the people totally that, you share your light with them. But trying to true compassion, true compassion is allowing everyone their path. I'm not talking about the human suffering path. I'm talking about the human soul level path that they chose to participate in that experience. And that's it. That's it, Dr. Dream, is that, we all come in and we judge somebody's experience and we're like, God, that sucks to suffer. I'm going to fix and heal you. And that's a disservice to the soul. It used to be that when you do healing work, it was always person to person, mano a mano, and you always had to get permission from the other. When we do the work with the light, what we do is we're soul to soul. And so we don't get caught up in any of that. So basically, even if it's somebody that you judge and deem as somebody that needs fixed or healed and you want to share your light with them, you do that still. And you just sharing your light, you being in your light and just sending them a smile. That is going to be what reminds them to stand in their light and be like, oh, hey, you know what? I've just been playing this silly game that I've been playing and not realizing that we don't have to play this game anymore. And that's truly it, is that we come here and we keep playing out a lot of the same scenarios over and over. But yet you are doing that for creation, for soul. You are the experiential part of the soul. And the soul does not judge you for what your life is. And I've actually witnessed in my own being going through lifetimes that the deeper, darker dive that you take in a lifetime, the more light and wisdom your soul elicits from that experience. And so if you see somebody suffering on the street, know that that is, have compassion for them, and knowing that that is what they chose, but yet you can still shine your light. And that is just simply taking a breath, being in the heart, having your light there, and smiling. That is can be as simple as that. So, but then if there are people that come to you and ask for your help, you do it the exact same way in this new paradigm. And that is you embody your light first and you invite them in and you just share your light. You're just sharing a reminder is what you're doing. Is you're like, hey, look at me. Here I am with my light. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they'll stand there in their light. And that's where the magic takes place, on this higher levels. All modalities will get you there, but I'm just talking about the real pure essence of what occurs here. It's your light and their light.
We had some amazing stories unfold for us. This is the Gaia sphere that you gifted us on our 777th experience that we facilitated at your location. It fits perfectly on top of our 55-pound citrine generator crystal. And then we have tensor rings around the base of the crystal. And we had three people in our immediate circle, two in different stages, challenged with different stages of cancer. One of them, and then a third one that was in a terrible car accident and was severely challenged with bones broken, this, that, and the other. We got pictures of each of the people. We put them um, in up against in the crystal. We wrapped the crystal with lights, and so the pictures were able to stay in there. And then this is on top, and the rings around the base. And we would bring, after we took the bowls around to each person, whatever chakra we were doing, Stephanie and I would bring the bowls over and play it in the beam of energy and light that comes up around. And our friend, I'll tell you, say her name because it's no secret, and she's talked about it publicly. Rosie Neal, who has an EE System Center in Cape Coral, Florida, said she felt the tide began to turn for her once we started doing it. She said to me on, I think it was November 12th, things started to change for me. And I was like, well, if you look at what we've sent you, Rosie, that's when we started doing the remote healing on your behalf. And she shared stories of feeling molecular shifts in her being as though the angels or energies, whatever you want to call it, were working on her and shifting her. They wanted to keep her in the hospital for a month. She got out much sooner than that. Again, she's posted publicly about it. I can't talk about the other two people, but your tools really helped us facilitate a deep healing for these people that mean so much to us, and it just amazing. I had no question in my mind, but then to hear back from Rosie about the what she felt literally and just like almost in tears as she was describing it, and open to everything, not completely understanding what was going on, but knowing that there was a deep healing happening from these tools. So I want to personally, on my behalf and on their behalf, thank you for what your tools and what you've brought in help facilitate.
That is so flippin' beautiful. It, yeah, we truly do hear of miracles and magic taking place every day. And again, the tools are space holders, and it is truly you and your light that are the magic here. And we create the spaces for you to better connect with that.
It's really something. Now, for how long have you been doing your weekly show?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I've been doing 50 Questions Friday for probably about, oh gosh, 4 or 5 years now, I think.
And so talk to us a little bit about it. I when I'm available and when we're on tour, I'm not always available, but when I can be, I've tapped in and jumped onto that and
Awesome.
blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Yeah, so gosh, we meet weekly on a YouTube live on the TwistedSage.com YouTube channel, and we just I just answer questions that people have on the specific energy tools or on the consciousness work surrounding them. And usually we'll do some kind of a meditation during that time. But yeah, those are all uploaded onto YouTube. So we have quite a channel on there for the past, gosh, I think we've been on YouTube for probably like 9 years or so.
So people can find so much instruction, healing energies. People will be able to play this over what you did, 15 minutes ago, and go through that process again when they feel the need to do it, and or until they get to the place that they feel like they can do it without the guidance. And you've been putting all
Yes.
of this online for people.
Yes, yeah, that's truly what our passion is about raising the amount of consciousness and light on the world, because that is what's going to make this a more beautiful world. And it's happening already, but once the light comes in, it brings a lot of chaos, a lot of disruption, but that is needed. So just hold your light, you know, hold your light.
So let me ask, there's things that play on me, weigh me down a little bit. We had Dane Wigington on from geoengineeringwatch.org about what's going on in the skies. His prognosis for this planet is not so positive if we don't all, stop, drop, and roll, stop, drop, and bowl in my world. But
Sure.
what and just the what we've done to the earth and the all the poisons and everything else. Where is it? Where is it headed? I want to hear from you and the bright light that you. I'm looking at you right now. I'm just like, oh my God, I just feel this rush of energy. I'm like, I almost feel silly asking this, but talk to us about some of those practical things that when people hear about it, it takes them down a notch. And what can we do? We look up at the sky and we see the crisscross, trails, and then they disperse, and then it's cloudy all day. And talk to us about that.
As you step into you, there are things, and I kind of alluded to this, that there are realities, and that is a true reality, but there is always the and. There is always another aspect to that reality. My sister, one potential reality is that she has a demolished bone in her finger. Another higher potential reality is that she has no demolished bone in her finger, that is completely free and healed. So when we work in creation, the metaphysics of creation. So here it is too, is that fear is a powerful source in creation. When we first started, people were coming to us, hey, chemtrails, and you got tools to clear chemtrails. When we looked at it, we saw that there was one person who believed in chemtrails, and he's like, hey, chemtrails. Another person, hey, chemtrails. When two or more gather, you begin to create a reality. I'm not saying that it is not true. It is a true and real reality. And there is a reality where that is not exist. That's my reality. Wherever I go, I do not see chemtrails. There are different realities that we live in. And more you focus, it's that feeding the wolf thing that manifests. So truly, your state of beliefs, desires, perspective of life, mindset, and consciousness is the metaphysics of creation. So if you are in your beliefs, your mindset, your consciousness, your perspective of life, that is what comes to you. Give you another example. We teach how to use an ancient etheric tool anchored into the physical as a brass rod. I've taught people for over 10 years on how to use this to anchor columns of light into cell phone towers. You can anchor that column of light into a cell phone tower, and that cell phone tower is producing the waves of love and gratitude. It's called the love and gratitude grid. So it's producing beneficial energies. Unless you're the guy that says that damn cell phone tower is frying me, then you receive what You are creator. Everybody else who's running around unconscious of that cell phone tower, it is producing a beneficial field to them. So there are billions of realities on this planet. And choose wisely, because you bring it into manifestation and reality. And again, fear is such a huge driving force of creation. It is so easy to get caught into fear, and fear is very powerful. And fear is a powerful creator. And so, yes, everything that anybody is scared of and talks about, yes, that is a true reality. But why do you choose to take that on? Because you don't have to. And that's it, Dr. Dream, is that there are so many things that you can look at in the world that are horrific and terrible and this and that's bad. You feed it. Anytime that you put your attention, it feeds that creation. So what I suggest, man, is feed the other wolves. Feed the creation that you want to see. That is truly what we are here to do right now. Is we are here to be our light and to shine our light. And that light holds all the potentials. It holds the greater potentials. I tell you, we just stepped into this whole apocalypse like 2 years ago, that the box was closed. I tell you what, TwistedSage started out as fighting the dark. That is what I did. I was a master angelic warrior fighting the dark for many lifetimes. The tools that TwistedSage created were all about fighting the dark. We created, the light rods to clear entities. 2019 came around and everything changed in 2019. Brenda, my sister, Metatron and Thoth used to walk with her. I mean, they were like her right hands. They were always with her, Metatron and Thoth. And they started stepping away in 2019. And they are no longer there for support. We had a tool here called the Wings of Talk. Talk is a master healer of the blues from another universe. He's no longer available in that tool, because we are stepping into our sovereignty. We're stepping into our power right now as a human, not the human, but all that we are. We're stepping into our power. And so all of that stuff, this world is a different place. We no longer have on this plane all the good, bad, ugly, beautiful beings here. I mean, you can still connect with the archangels, things like that, but they're not here on this plane, and neither are all of those old dense things. I mean, holy crap, you guys. I actually did this thing. Oh, yeah, here's our Wings of Talk. But I actually have this little booklet that I wrote
So
too.
wait a second. Let me ask. That tool right there, still a valuable tool, or
Still a valuable tool. It is still working with geopathic, geomagnetic. It'll still cross over ghost waywards, but it's just that we don't have all of the influx of entities onto this plane like we did prior to 2019. 2019, before, I mean, geez, we would find beings that were doing all kinds of weird stuff. Like we have a four-way stop sign, and then every time that somebody would come along, this great big being would come in and he would drop like this big blanket down to where nobody could see anything. And the last minute he would lift it. For years, people got into accidents at this corner, at this intersection. And then my nephew finally got into an accident there. And my sister and I were looking and we saw it and we found it and we cleared it. There hasn't been a single accident there since. That was what, 6 years ago. Um, just wild stuff. It used to be a different world, but what I'm saying is that the world changed. 2019, there was that release of all those beings on this plane that could not be here. And I tell you, I fought the dark for so long. That's what I did. And so I was telling you, Dr. Dream, before we got on here, that, it's been a release of identity for me, because the release of identity that I had to release was a duality. The whole fight of duality is what I had to release. And then there's been this opening. So this opening is the potentials. So if you imagine that when you're in your fear or pain body, you're stuck in this limited box, this box of limited potentials, and you only have like two choices in the world and they're both terrible. You open up by the amount of light. So this is low light, low consciousness, low potentials. You open up the amount of light that is available to you, and you have all of these potentials. Within this field of higher potentials is where my sister found the unbroken bone, is in this field of higher potentials. And all that is the more light that you hold. So the simplicity of it, just stop, be in the heart, hold your light. And I tell you, the world begins to change. And true light workers, this is our time. True light workers is not fighting the dark. That's old duality crap. True light workers is working with our light and holding our light for the betterment of not only ourselves, but for all of creation. Um, and it works. It is so profound. It works.
So let
And
me
so,
ask, at what point do we no longer need a cell phone ring? Because isn't just even having that on there bring us into that duality?
yes. So, I tell you, Dr. Dream, I don't need any of these on my cell phone. I have them all there for demonstration and to show, but and I sleep with my phone by my head every night, because I listen to meditations. But truly, no, I can stand in my light and power, and I am untouchable. But of course, I also have chosen to live in a safe universe. And making a clear conscious choice is your superpower right now. Making a clear conscious choice from the heart is your superpower. And I tell you what, try it and you will find out. So the clear conscious choice is kind of like what we did with the soul altar earlier. That is making a clear conscious choice. And the first thing that we do as stepping into being creators is we first begin to uncreate creation, which no longer serves us. So that's the first thing what we do is we know what we don't want and we start to throw that overboard, giving it back to soul as wisdom. And so once we know what we don't want, we begin to release that, then we can really truly step into opening and receiving to things beyond our imagination,
So
beyond.
what's the process to do that? Because once we're focused on what we don't want. We're kind of now in that energy.
Yes. So that's it too. Dr. Dream, is I got caught up in wanting to do the clearing work. So I got caught up into it for about 4 or 5 years. It was about a year ago that I got loud and clear. Hey, if you want to clear, we have lifetimes of work for you to do. If that's what you really want. I'm like, oh, wait, no, hold on now. That's not really what I want. I want to live life in joy and abundance and health and all of the wonderful side effects that come from you just embodying your light and allowing yourself to live light and joy. That's what I was told. Let's see. Next week will be exactly a year that was my loud and clear thing that I received was the only thing that I need to do is embody my light and live life in joy. That is all that my soul requires of me. Everything else as my passion is going to flow anyway. Twisted Sage, all of that. But truly focusing on embodying your light and living life in joy. And that is tougher than it sounds. That's for sure. Because we all get addicted to the suffering and we all like the suffering and we keep getting back in there. But so really the key and the secret is that you start doing the work. You start doing the release work and you start embodying your light. And then as you embody more light, it happens automatically. You don't have to think about it or do it anymore. And the tools help. I mean, the wisdom wand is the tool that helped me for 18 months on doing that clearing work so that whenever anything came up into my awareness, I'd hold my wand, take the breath, release it. And the cool thing is too, is once you release something, you forget about it. It's gone out of your memory and your awareness. And then it's past, it's gone.
So
It's common wisdom.
take us into the practice of how to release something. And then
Awesome.
will that lead into making a clear and conscious choice?
Yes. So the clear and conscious choice is truly the biggest thing. Now, the soul altar was a little bit a longer one because that's kind of ceremony for the mind because a lot of time we do need that mental ceremony. But To distill it into the easiest, simplest way, yep, we're going to make a clear, conscious choice. So we'll jump into that right now. Give you that simple tool to make a clear, conscious choice of what does not bring you joy, does not serve you, something you don't want to experience anymore. And here's the thing, too, is that when you release something and it stays, there's a couple reasons it could stay. One is that it is still serving you in some way. And actually, that's the only reason. The two is that you might be enjoying it, even if you feel, if even if you say no, that sucks, that's suffering, I don't like that, I don't enjoy that. That's when we're doing the soul altar and you taking the step back, is you truly making the commitment that you're not going to carry that crap anymore. But because so many times we love the drama.
Right.
And so we'll hold on to whatever that is because it's bringing us some kind of energy or joy, even in that drama. So you making that clear, conscious choice is you being true to yourself, not compromising, being true to yourself. Hey, do I really want this or do I not? And then you make the choice. No, I don't want it. And then you let it go. And then you don't keep fighting it, because then when you keep fighting it, then again, that's where your energy flows and you bring it into you. So when you fight something, you are participating in its creation by bringing more gravity to it and bringing it more into your field of reality creation. So when you let something go, you truly let it go and allow it to go, because it might take a couple days or a week or a month, who knows? But just trust in you, in your light, and you saying, okay, I'm letting this go. So here we go. Super simple, easy. Um, the easier, the better. That keeps us in the heart and out of the head. So here we go. Again, taking that breath from the earth into the heart, that breath of you, of Creator God as soul, into the heart. And that third breath is where you become that column of light, grounded, connected, and in the heart space. So, a clear, conscious choice. Actually, there are two things here that I would like to offer. One is a concept called standing behind the short wall, brought to us by an ascended master called Tobias. Standing behind the short wall means that you can observe the chaos or the drama, but you don't have to participate in it. That you can choose to stand behind the short wall so you can see it, but you are not a part of it and helping to manifest and create it. And when you stand behind that short wall, you can stand there in your light and smile at that creation, sending your light to it, allowing it to step into whatever it is. And again, we're not shining our light to create or to heal or to change, but ultimately, the light is the only thing that makes real changes. So here we go. Imagining what it is, that reoccurring thought, this certain situation, a relationship, something that you're like, this does not bring me joy. I am ready to release this. And you just be in the heart space and true to yourself, making that clear, conscious choice that I am complete with this. I'm going to give this to soul. And if you want, you can do that soul altar exercise where you just simply set that onto the soul altar, or simplify it by just saying, I am complete. I hand this to soul. I wish to no longer participate in this. Beautiful. That is you as creator stepping in and saying, no, that's not what I want in my creation. And that truly is the first thing to do, instead of stepping in saying, no, this is what I want in my creation, that even limits it. So the first thing we do is we clear and release, making clear conscious choices. This does not serve me. I release this. Then, as you progress through time and you've done your work, every moment you have a situation and experience, and you're like, no, stop right there, put your foot down and say, no, damn it, I am creator. I'm going to go into my heart space and I'm going to let this one go to wisdom, that I no longer have to do this anymore. And once you start clearing that, so do this for some months, and then you will begin to find that you are in clarity and in peace. And then you can start stepping forward in a new way in creation. Um, and that's where I'm at, is that I'm just getting over the hill of doing all the work. And I'm standing here looking out into this vast expanse of potentials. And I'm like, okay, how do we bring all these higher potentials into reality? And that's a dang tough one, because all you can do is just be and allow, embody your light. And the more that you be and allow and embody your light, the higher potentials in reality creation come to you versus
Beautiful.
the other way.
Wow.
I know, way different than where I've ever been with this, huh, Dr. Dream? I know I've had a few people on expecting a lot of EMF and dense stuff, but I've gone through a shift.
And you, it emanates from you. You're, it's there. It's really, it's a beautiful thing. I thank you so much for this. Yeah, there's this is timely for me for a number of reasons, and I'm glad that I caught you when I caught you and was like, all right, this is because I asked you to be on the show right in the midst of the after December 5th energetic and into the not feeling so well and moving through all this stuff. And no, this is fabulous. Brian, thank you so much. I'd love to have you back another time. As always, your energy is welcome and provides a great deal of grounding and expansion for me, as I know it will for all those that tune into this. So thank
Thank
you
you
so
all.
much. And yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Indeed. Get
It's a
back to my
beautiful thing.
14-year-old. Yes.
And send our love to Brenda and the rest of your family and the whole crew for all the good work that you all are doing. It's helping a lot of people, and I'm one of those.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Such an honor to be here. And thank all of you for being here on this beautiful Christmas day. Much love to everybody.
Thank you, Brian. Merry Christmas, everyone. Blessings.